I had a few minutes time. My husband had run to town, so I decided I would go live just to show you that I'm getting these things made. I don't know if anybody's even is coming, but I've got a blue block and a red block made. I think they're looking good. I sure had some problems with them at first, and they're still not getting squared up like I like for them to be. But I think I'll get it figured out. I've got to trim some, so I'm going to move over here and trim some. Hey, I just thought I'd come on here this morning while my husband went to town and just sew a little bit. I didn't know what anybody else was doing, but here I am. I'm still cutting and trimming blocks for my new quilt. I think it's going to be pretty. Not that way. That way. I've got I've got a bunch of them I'm going to have to trim because if I don't, they're not coming out. Just the seams aren't matching up perfect. So I've got to work on them. I think I'm going to have to stand up. I don't know if y'all can see me if I stand up or not. Stand up so I can cut them. That I want to see all the mess on the other side of the room. Nah, that's not helping any. I'm not pretty. All the blocks, I have to trim them down, and then I'm going to cut them again in half so I can sew them together again. Now I've got two of them. Other didn't go all the way through them. I killed it down. It's all bouncy, I'm sure. I can do a lot of things. I don't think I'm perfect at anything, but I can do things. I haven't cut all these yet. I was still kind of experimenting on putting the blocks together, so I was just cut a few at a time till I can get it figured out. I don't know where to move that cutting board. When I do get it figured out, I'll cut a bunch off my hand. I hadn't done that yet. Stand back. Sometimes I can't do it sitting back. I left some of them too big a little bit ago, and then I was having to push and pull and get everything in there, to get everything to fit. And it still didn't fit good. So I need to take my time and trim them to the right size. I'm going to move this again. Here I am. I'm gonna work here for a few minutes. Trim some red ones. trimming these down to 4 inches. So, but I've got to trim just little edges off of it. Turn it the other way. And I'm double checking because them first ones were giving me trouble. Just a little bit more off. When you sew them, they're kind of on the bias and they go to stretching on me. Cut it in half. And them little slivers off. My my cutter keeps slipping. I think I need a new one. Well, I've got another one around here, but I put a new knife in that, new blade in that one, so I'm using it. I think I'm going to find the other one. Keep popping on me, and then it kind of scares me, and I jump. Because I tell you, that blade in there is sharp. See, I'm going to set this little timer. I'm not going to stay here very long. Maybe 15, 20 minutes. So when that timer goes off, if I'm not already signed off, I'm going to go. And I probably am not real professional with this, but I can still get the job done. There's people that know a lot more about it than I do. Sometimes when I get done trimming these, I have all these little threads. I throw them out in the yard, and I think the little birds find them and put them in their nest when they're building nests. Let's see. Cut it in half. Hope I've got enough cut ahead to start sewing a few more or not. It's not cutting them all the way through, but I'll get my trimmers and trim them. See what I've got. Still got some more cutting to do. See what I've got here. Let me move that around. Hello to Gina and who else? Francis. Hello, Francis. All time losing stuff. Up there they are. They're under some blocks. I need my little scissors so I can cut these apart. I've chained some of them together. I'm going to leave that one for now. And over here on that side, I've got my iron, so I'm going to reach over here and iron some of these. I've kind of got a mess. I'm real unorganized when I do stuff. And if I ever leave a project and come back to it, I have to reorganize again. We're not organized, but rethink it again. It would be part of my squares. I don't know if you could, well, you can't see behind me the two squares I made, a red one and a blue one. Make little hourglasses, and then they'll go together. Good morning, Linda. Oh, my sewing machine. Yeah, I love this little sewing machine. I've actually got newer sewing machines, but this little thing is just perfect for sewing quilt squares. Just yeah, it's got the little table here that just holds the squares, and I love it, and it just kind of purrs along. I kind of got it for myself, but I told my husband I wanted one here a couple of years ago, and he said, "Well, if you," and our anniversary was coming up, and so I told him what I wanted, and he said, "Well, go get it if you want it." So I bought it from a woman. Her name was Mona, and she named it Carolina. But I've been calling it Mona Carolina, Mona after the woman that I bought it from, and Carolina because that's what she'd called it. But I think Mona Carolina is a nice name for her. So that's what I call her. I think she's just pretty quiet. Those are pretty stitches. Me and Mona Carolina get a lot done. And I've started sewing more instead of cooking. I was making them cooking videos, and I'm telling you, I would cook that stuff, and if I didn't get it tucked to the kids, I would eat it. And I was putting on pounds and pounds, which wasn't a good thing. So I decided, well, if I just sew in videos, I won't be over there eating. I'm gonna check this one again. Some of these because some of them were getting too big. They wasn't all fit. Trim a little bit of it off. Want to rewrite their pattern, but some of those pieces were not fitting in my square like I wanted them to. Maybe I was taking too big a seam or something, but that one, and I'll sew two more together. Trim some off of that one. Got 80 some of these blocks to make, and I'm going to have to trim every one of them. But if I want them to look right, I think I'm going to have to. I am going to go to town after a while. I was going to go yesterday, and I got to messing with this quilt and didn't get there. And my little quilt store doesn't open till 10 o'clock, so I've got a little bit before I have to go. And I was going to wait till Terry got back from his run to town before I went. See what pieces I want here. I said I've got so many pieces scattered around here. I barely know what I'm doing. You're enjoying me watching me make a mess, make a bigger mess. If you could see all this stuff I've got scattered around. If I pick up the wrong piece, I just lay it down and grab another one, and maybe I'll eventually pick up the right one. I have here. trim that one, and it looks like it's going to fit a little better. Tilt you back up. There's the 2 blocks I'm trying to make behind me. Line them up. I usually don't pin unless I'm sewing a long seam. I don't pin these little short ones. I said till I get all my the little quirky things to my pattern figured out, I'm just gonna work on just a few pieces at a time. And I probably don't have the ones I need here with me. Better move up there and trim some more. Right. See what that one needs. See if I can do this sitting down. Probably can't. And that thing's not cutting all the way through. Or maybe because I'm sitting down, not pressing hard enough. There's one that goes with you. I'm gonna have to stop here in a minute and get this straightened back up. I've got pieces pieces every place. We'll go over here. We'll cut some of them red ones. We'll cut these red ones. This stack of red ones right here. Yesterday I was turning them every which way when I was putting them together before I figured out how I wanted them. And today I've done since I've done a couple of them blocks. I kind of understand what I'm doing and what piece goes where right now until I go do something else and forget what I've done when I come back. It's loose. That's why it keeps slipping. Cut it in half. It's still not cutting. I need to start cutting these and making a stack so I know which ones I've done and which one I haven't done. Didn't cut either. My little sliver. Turn this thing. I want to build my coffee on it. Sliver. And then I'm checking from the other side too. Kind of get some little tails off of there. Making extra pains with it. I don't know why, but I want it to be good. Now, go this way. Some of them women that I watch sewing, some of those are so good. It did again. Slipped on me. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a new cutter on my want list. Uh, I'm going to put them right there so I remember I've already trimmed them. I'll show you again the pattern. It was a free pattern. This this is what I'm making. You can see if that's coming through or not. And it's called Cassandra's Favorite, and it was a free pattern from that Robert Kaufman fabric line. If you do a search for that, they have lots of free patterns. But I see I'm going to have a blue and a red, a blue and a red, and they're going to have the strips and the cornerstone. It's going to be set together. I said, let me show you. There's my blue block, and there's part of them, and I've got mistakes. These here didn't match up, so that's the reason I'm taking better pains of trimming these others. There's my blue one, and there's my red block. All right, I'm going to read a few comments, and then I think I'm going to get off here and get ready to do my trip to town. Let's see who's here. Who's here? It is a pretty pattern. I'm going to show you something behind me. This one I messed up on this block, but I've got another chicken started out of these kind of fabrics. But I messed up on this one. So but I'm going to hang it on the wall behind me just because this is reused. Oh, but I've got a bunch more blocks started. That's just one of my mess up blocks. Let's stick her back up there. And I don't know if you could see yesterday, but this old tablecloth, it's an old Christmas tablecloth, and this side's plastic, but this is flannel. And if you have that's hanging on the wall here behind this table, and I'll show you. Got my finger in the way. I was going to show you how this works. Because if you need a design wall, here's these blocks. They just stick right. They just stick right up there. It's just the neatest thing. Don't have to pin them. And if you need to move them pieces, if you get one wrong, you just kind of put it off and move it. I didn't know about that for years and years, and about 2 or 3 years ago, I finally learned that trick with the tablecloth. So if you need a design wall, just go to the dollar store and get you an old tablecloth. You may have one stashed away someplace. And that way I can put my blocks up there. So my invention. Somebody else invented it, but something I could think somebody. If you saw, you might need to know. Hey, put my chicken back up there. There's my chicken. Morning. I see you're pretty quilting, Stephanie. I'm here on my dining room tables where I'm working at. I do have a place where my quilt machine is, but it's up in another house and it's across the field. So I don't go up there until I have to quilt. And especially when it's hot in summertime, I hate to heat up both houses. So I'm going to sew down here. I'm kind of hoping in September, maybe when the weather's not so hot, I can go up there and turn on the little window air conditioning and catch up on some of my quilting, because I've got 2 or 3 now that I need to quilt. But I'm just not going to go up there and run the extra electricity. You know how electricity is getting expensive. Another piece up there. Where's that one going to go? I think that one up there. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get off here. I don't know how long I've been running, but I say, get ready to go town because I'm going to get. Let me show you this. I'm going to get a vacuum for this one I finished the other day. This when I finished this one the other day, I didn't have a vacuum box for it, so I want to take it to town and look at it with the fabrics in the fabric store, the quilt house where I go, and see what color I need to go with it. That's because that's my stars. It's called Wish, but it looks like shooting stars to me. And it has the white around it, but I'm trying to decide if I want to put one more border on it. I might pick out one of these fabrics and put another border, and then buy the backing. It's pretty good size. I think it's pretty. I said, not ready to go up to my quilt machine and quilt it, but I do want to go ahead and buy the backing and have it because I'd like to pick out whatever fabric, one of these fabrics that's in those strips. And I have an extra block. I'll tell you what happened to this block, and I think I'll just make it as a pillow. But I had it hanging. Actually this tablecloth was in another room, and I had these blocks up there, and one of them fell behind the chair, and I didn't see it, and I didn't find it till after I'd made an extra all the blocks, so I come up with an extra block. But I think that'd make a cute little pillow to go to bed too with this quilt. Isn't it pretty? That quilt is this this style right here. But this one back here is gonna be pretty too. And this one ain't gonna be too bad. I'd hate to tell you guys how many projects I have started. Oh, as my timer went off, I think I set it for 20 plus minutes. So time everybody gets here, I'm gonna pop off here because I've got to go. I gotta go to town. I said I was gonna go yesterday and I didn't, and I need a few groceries. I'm still kind of stocking up on groceries. So I'm gonna go to the quilt house and to the grocery store. I'll go to the quilt house first, so if I buy ice cream, it won't melt when I'm shopping. I thank you guys for popping in, and I'm gonna pop off here, and I said I'll come back to this mess and straighten it up. I'll try not to, but I still don't tell my husband what I spend on fabric sometimes. Bye. Bye. I love y'all. Thanks for popping in with me for my little sewing party. Bye.